What's going on, YouTube? It's been a while. This video is going to be a little bit different. Also, you may notice my hair's gone. So I haven't had as much time to record gameplay. I've been streaming gameplay instead, but I thought that it would be good to show the performance of this game, Code Vein 2, because I enjoyed the first one, and I have been hearing that the performance in this is pretty bad. So this is going to be my first attempt at doing a performance video. Even though it's at 1080p, I will be testing 1080p and 1440p on my end. And we'll see what the performance is like. Right now, I'm only getting 1 FPS because shaders are compiling. But when we get into the game, you'll see. We'll cut to that. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy. All right. So it took me a second. So these are the settings I'm using right now for 1080p. We have it at 1920 by 1080. No limit on the frame rate. I left the brightness however it is. I have to do this in window mode because otherwise it would not let you change the resolution. Advanced setting. I have draw distance as furthest. DLSS using DLAA. VSync is off. Quality. Everything is maxed out. Actually, need to max that out. Character model high. All right. Apply changes. All right. We're gonna start a new game. I don't know what the frame rate's gonna be like inside the game. By the way, we're using 5070 Ti, Ryzen 7 9700X. 32 gigabytes of RAM, DDR5, of course, and 6000 megahertz CL36.
Corrupts everything it touches.
All right, so in the cutscenes, it looks like we're getting 60 FPS. So that's good. Frame time isn't too bad, but this is just a cutscene, so I don't know what it's going to be like once we get into the game.
It was not long before humans.
So what we can do is go ahead and skip this, get into the actual game. By the way, if you want to actually see me play through this game, I will be playing it on Twitch. Link will be down in the description.
The most revered and honored of all revenants, sought out and found a way to seal the and now.
All right, right now we're at 30 FPS. I got rid of Booba.
100 years have come and gone since the Battle of the Upheaval. And one day, when those heroes...
I'm assuming it's because this is like another cutscene. It's weird that that first cutscene is 60 FPS and then this cutscene is 30 FPS.
Lou,
damn.
It's time.
Run, Forest. All right, let's go ahead and skip this. Let's see what it's like in game.
Hello there.
If we can get there.
Can you hear me?
Character creation.
It's all right.
For the sake of just this performance review, we're just gonna use the base here.
What you looked like?
But for my Twitch playthrough, I definitely will be making my own character. So, right off the bat,
I shall guide you.
we're hitting over 80 FPS. Let me go ahead and bring up the averages and minimums, 1% lows. So it looks like we're staying above 60 FPS here.
Don't hesitate to tell me if you don't feel well.
But we're also not in like a sort of
this area was
filled up environment. So let's see what happens.
To the surface.
All right, we're still in the 60s, but this we've dropped into the 50s in this area.
Tower on the hill.
At least for the 1% lows. I want to say 1080p, everything maxed out. It doesn't look that bad.
Unique abilities of revenants, conventionally known
also, if things don't look smooth, again, it's because what you're seeing is only 60 FPS. So here outside, we've dropped down from 80 in the 1% lows to 61. All right, it's going up a little bit. But we are staying around 80
These two were
outdoors, and it
once
seems
revenants,
that
turned to
indoors
stone
it was
by
about to be
a
at
format.
90. All right. It looks like we're getting into some combat. There is no pause feature, it seems. Alright, I guess that was all the combat. Partners. Let me reset the I will say I haven't had any major spikes, at least at 1080p. And I just want to preference that this card is definitely made for 1440p. So I am curious. Let's all right, that's my map. Can I bring up settings here? All right. So we switched to 1440p. All settings are the same. I'm still using DLAA. VSync is still off. Everything is maxed out. We're going to see what we got at 1440p. Strange. It seems that we are still around what we were at before when we were at 1080p. No, we are using more of the CPU. It's also crazy. It, like, just switching to 1440p didn't raise the amount of VRAM that we're actually using that much. If you can see, we're still staying above 60. So I think if I wanted to, I would cap this game at 60 and play it like that. However, I would probably lower settings and cap it at 120 for myself just to have it smoother. But I am curious on how high we can get that frame rate at 1440p. All right, so what we'll do, game settings. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's get to an area that might be a little bit more demanding to see if it drops a lot. All right, it looks like we're going to be going into an outside area. And I'm probably going to have to fight, so let me just get this in case I die during this test. Right away, we're dropping. Let me reset the... All right. Like, we're not moving right now. We're under 60 FPS. I mean, the sky test, it's always going to go up, but... And once you start getting into combat, when you have particles going off, frame's going to drop. I just died, I think. Restorative offering. And don't get me wrong, like, I know that this is not like realism graphics, but it looks clean. But that being said, we are definitely under 60. Now I'm curious, and also once we went outside, if you look at our VRAM usage, it went up to almost 9 gigs. So what that tells me is that you want at least a 12 gig card to actually play this. To be safe, for sure. Or at least 10 gigs, but I would do 12 to be safe. Let's get rid of these enemies because I can see like some buildings over there. I want to see if that actually changes. Like, we just dropped into the 40s there. It wanted me to do like a special attack. Alright. We're definitely not hitting above 60 at this point. And I have a feeling that it's going to drop even more. Now, I feel like we're close enough to 60. Like our 1% lows has dropped into the 30s. I would definitely not be playing this game like this. I just died again. I've died. I've been restored. Now, keep in mind, I'd probably be a lot stronger if I had went to that dungeon, but since we're trying to rush to a more demanding area, I am not strong at all. Also, this game does recommend a controller, I think. So I will be using the controller.
We'll take the elevator down to the sub.
So it seems like looking in that direction drops us. Let's change some of these graphic settings and see what happens. Let's start with DLSS. We'll start with quality. All right, so right away, we jumped up like maybe 25 FPS, 20 to 25 FPS. We're still not over we're still not over 60 in our 1% lows, but let's see.
What are you doing? This ain't the way to Magmal.
And because of the art style, I feel like moving to Ultra actually didn't really change the graphics too much. And I can tell you now, just from how it's performing, 4K is not going to happen on this card. There's going to be too much for it to handle. However, I am curious, just for giggles, first, let's go ultra performance and see what that looks like. Strange. Honestly, that didn't give us much of a boost at all. It did in the 1% lows, though, for sure. It's seeming. We're above 60 in the 1% lows.
I feel great. I feel light as a feather.
I'm dead. And that's okay. Alright.
Rise and shine.
Dropping haze on death. Yada yada. Souls like mechanics. Alright. Just because it's raining and I'm not sure, it looks really fuzzy. I don't know if you're picking that up on the recording, but Jesus. That's got to be because of DLSS, right? All right, let's go back to DLAA real quick. All right, so raining right now. It's raining. That dropped our frame rate from before it was raining, maybe like 5-ish, 5 to 10-ish FPS, I believe. But I will say it definitely looked weird. But while moving in the rain, I don't know if you see that. Sort of like lined up with his head. There's like some kind of ghost thing going on. And I'm not using the DLSS. Well, I guess I'm technically using DLSS. I am curious. TSR. I don't know what that's going to look like, but let's see. I mean, it's still kind of doing it. I don't know if it's coming up on the recording. And it looks like that dropped our frames even more. Yeah, I dropped them like maybe 3 to 5 frames. But also I wanted to check one more thing. Draw distance. If we put that to near and then put everything to low. What that will do. Ooh. We don't even have a character anymore. It was so low it got rid of it completely. Hey, my head. You know, honestly, it almost feels like I'm playing like a really old like PS2 to PS3 era game like this. It doesn't feel bad. And it could look a lot worse. I will say that. And I think that has to do partially with the graphics, but you can tell that a lot of detail has disappeared. Like, I don't even know what that is. Like even on the bridge, like as soon as everything was loading in. Now, what if I have that? You can also see lowering all those settings actually put us under 8 gigabytes of VRAM. And I feel like you'd probably stay just under 8 gigs for most of the game if you did it like this, if I had to guess. Because when I was like fighting, it went up like maybe 300 megabytes at the most. So you might go over here and there, but I don't think it'd be too bad. But I'm curious if I do this. Also, I didn't pay attention. Did it say anything about needing to... It hasn't said I had to reset the game. But we're over 100 FPS. Alright, make sure it's good. We're over 100 FPS using these, but this looks... Yeah, ultra performance, low settings. This looks like garbage. everything's just real pixelated. Even the rain, if you can tell, like look at that grass out in the distance. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. The rain stopped, so it kind of stopped, but that grass like right above my head was like just flashing. I think turn that off. Quality medium for everything. Like I definitely should be able to hit higher settings than what this game is letting me do. But I think this is just going to be the best way to play it with this particular setup that I'm using, which is the 5070 Ti 9700X, 32 gigabytes of RAM. With this, I guess you could theoretically get away with 8 gigabyte cards. F1440p. And we're actually keeping our CPU and GPU usage around 50. Crazy enough. But yeah, I think that will do it for the testing on this. I know we're not doing too much, but I feel like with these kind of games, it's just kind of like how most of it's going to be, and a lot of the fighting will end up being like in stuff like dungeons. At least that's how it was in the first game. If you want me to continue to actually do videos like this, let me know. Any games you want me to test out. And if you want to see me play through this game, you can catch me on Twitch, which I'll keep linked down in the description below. You can check me out there while I'm playing live, because that is how I will most likely be getting through my games. But I think that this is smooth enough that I would just keep it at 60. The 1% lows is like not too noticeable. Like there's spikes there with like transitions, especially with the combat. But I think that it is manageable. At least in my eyes, it's not too bad.
I feel great.
But yeah. So it looks like doing that, because I can still hear them moving, doesn't actually pause the game. I don't remember if you could pause in the original. I already forgot. But yeah. Double tapping touchpad on the DualSense controller, because that's what I'm using, actually opens up a quest list and all that, which I'll figure out when I'm doing my playthrough. But yeah, anyways, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next video. Later.